Listen up, fellas. I've had it up to here with the noise coming out of the gun rag media, pushing plastic junk that costs more than a decent used truck. They sell you dreams, but we're talking about reality. Hard times, rising prices, and a world that doesn't care if your fancy polymer pistol jams when the lights go out. We are not chasing tacticool fluff. We are auditing assets. If you are buying a defensive firearm right now, you need cold, hard reliability that won't leave you broke when the supply lines get tight. We are diving deep into the sub-$300 market and stretching that budget just enough to snag used icons to find the working man's iron. This ain't about the prettiest trigger break. This is about the tool that cycles cheap ball ammo, fits the budget despite the inflation hitting us like a freight train, and doesn't require you to take out a second mortgage for spare parts. We're mixing heavy hitters that anchor your home defense setup with micro slugs that disappear when you need deep concealment. Stick around, because if you miss these deals, you'll be paying double next year. The Budget Foundation, the Stoeger STR-9. The Stoeger STR-9, sitting down here at the bottom of our list, is what happens when you take a proven, dependable design, strip out some of the aerospace-grade polish, and sell it for the price of a cheap dinner out. This is a 9mm striker-fired pistol, polymer frame. The modern standard, damn right. But Stoeger, bless their heart, managed to stuff features into this thing that usually cost you $100 extra elsewhere. We are talking about interchangeable backstraps, letting you tailor that grip. And, get this, an optic-ready slide option straight from the factory, a feature rarely seen below the $300 barrier. It comes standard with decent 3-dot sights and a rail, meaning you can actually mount a decent flashlight for bedside duty without emptying your wallet on a whole new setup. It carries 15 rounds standard, which is solid capacity for a compact service-style gun. It weighs a hair over 30 ounces. Now, some of you younger fellas might cry about the weight, but let me tell you something. That heft is your friend. It soaks up the recoil impulse, making those practice sessions less punishing on old bones. On the range, the mechanics are clear. Front slide serrations for when your hands are sweaty or gloved, a trigger guard cut nicely, and a takedown system that clearly cribbed the best parts of the Glock manual. Reliability? For the price, it's shocking. I put 800 rounds through mine, maybe 2 hiccups. That ain't perfect, but for the price of a tire rotation, that's damn good performance. The market price has crept up, now sitting between $250 and $300. That's still stealing. The trade-off, boys? It ain't stamped on American soil, and Stoeger's quality control might flutter slightly compared to the established kings. Maybe 99.7% consistency instead of 99.9%. But when the price is this low, you buy 5 and cycle them for spare parts. While this pistol gets you in the door, the next option upgrades the features list while keeping that budget firmly in check, giving you premium feel without the premium price tag. The Value King, the Canik TP9 Elite SC. Next up, we're taking a calculated risk right at the top of the budget, stepping into the Canik TP9 Elite SC. I'll be straight with you. When I bought mine, the prices were already sneaking past the $300 line after tax, pushing towards $350 now, which is why I flagged the market volatility. This is still a polymer-framed, striker-fired 9mm, but Canik understood that modern shooters need features out of the box. It ships with 2 magazines, a 12-round flush fit and a 15-round extended, which is double stack power in a subcompact frame. You don't buy a plate kit for this gun, you just mount the optic. The look of this pistol is sharp. That tungsten Cerakote finish makes it look like it should cost twice as much. The ergonomics are superb. The grip texture isn't just stippled plastic, it has an aggressive bite that locks your hand in place, which is crucial when you're flinging hot loads through a short barrel. And the trigger? Hell yes. It is one of the finest factory triggers I have ever felt on any handgun under $400. Smooth, short take-up, and a crisp break that lets you know exactly when that firing pin is going to drop. Even the iron sights, a Warren tactical fiber optic front paired with a snag-free rear, are designed for one-handed manipulation, meaning you can rack that slide off your belt, your boot heel, or any hard surface when you're fighting for your life. Why isn't it number 1? Reliability. After 1,000 rounds, I had 2 malfunctions. That's not a deal breaker, but it nudged it out of the top 3. The issue is often the spring tension. These guns are tuned for the hotter NATO ammunition. If you feed it light, 21st century target loads, you might get a stovepipe or a failure to feed until you break that spring in or swap to a slightly lighter spring. It's the best balance of portability, capacity, and shootability in this compact space right now. Now, moving from a slightly heavier compact carry, we shift gears to the single-stack champion, the one built specifically for deep concealment where every ounce matters. The concealment specialist, the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. When you need to vanish under a light summer t-shirt, you step down to the single-stack world, and the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield owns that territory. You have a choice here, boys. Grab the original Shield, which is cheaper and still a tank, or shell out just a little more for the 2.0 version, which smooths out the trigger and tightens up the fit. Both are regularly found under $300. This is a striker-fired 9mm built for the pocket or appendix carry, sporting a 3-inch barrel and tipping the scales at just 20 ounces unloaded. That lack of weight means you can carry it all day long without developing a limp or blaming your back pain on your gear. The standard capacity starts low, 7+1, but this is where the aftermarket shines. Unlike some of those obscure imports, magazines for the Shield are everywhere, cheap, and reliable. I run 4 mags minimum for any defensive pistol, and for the Shield, that's easy money. While the 2.0 model has the superior trigger feel, smoother break, better reset, even the original Shield is dead nuts reliable. The defining feature on both is the grip texture. It's aggressive enough to give you absolute non-slip control, even if your palms are sweating bullets under pressure. What makes this gun a true contender in a home defense scenario, despite its small size, is that it's just big enough for the average man to handle well. Hell no. Tiny guns are snappy, they muzzle flip like a mule, and they make accurate follow-up shots nearly impossible. The Shield finds that perfect middle ground, small enough to hide, but controllable enough to shoot accurately at 25 yards. And yes, I've cracked steel at 100 yards with the 2.0. The aftermarket support is a fortress. You can swap sights, barrels, add extensions, holsters, and kydex or leather for any carry position. It's all there. This pistol is the definition of proven reliability in the single-stack category. If you are seeking a reliable, utterly fuss-free sidearm that disappears under clothing but can still hold its own defending the homestead, the Shield is an easy recommendation. Capacity on a dime, the Taurus G2C and G3 series. When you need a handgun that can serve as your range toy, your bedside anchor, and your daily carry without making you cry over the receipt, you look hard at the Taurus G series, specifically the G2C and the slightly beefier G3. I am focusing on the G2C here, but the G3 is essentially the same mechanical package, with a longer barrel and more real estate. These guns are famous for being tough to kill and impossibly cheap. I snagged my G2C for just $219 back when inflation hadn't completely run wild, and you can still hunt down a deal under $250 if you are patient. They are polymer-framed, 9mm striker-fired workhorses. They typically come standard with a 15-rounder and a 17-rounder magazine included. That's 18 rounds right out of the box. For less than the price of one high-end magazine for some European imports, you get 2. The G3, with its 4-inch barrel, settles perfectly between compact and full-size carry. It has that Picatinny rail for mounting necessary illumination. And the trigger, now listen here, it is surprisingly smooth for this price bracket, offering a crisp break that is miles ahead of what budget manufacturers were offering 5 years ago. The slide serrations are there, they work, and the takedown process is straightforward, relying on the tried-and-true Glock-style methodology. The aftermarket has fully embraced these pistols. You can upgrade the sights easily, add extensions, or refine the grip. Yes, they have a manual safety, which I'll usually disengage, but for a new shooter, that extra lever is a good training mechanism. The key takeaway here is longevity through simplicity. Clean it, lube it, feed it quality ammo, and this thing will run like a freight train hauling cheap steel. If your mission is maximizing rounds on target while minimizing the initial outlay, the Taurus G2C or G3 delivers performance that insults the price tag. It's the definition of a high-value, high-capacity defensive tool. But now, we shift gears entirely. We are leaving the new production realm and entering the used market, the only place left to truly fight inflation and acquire combat-proven reliability for less than $300. The used icon, the first-generation Glock 17 or 19, or used S&W M&P boys, this is where the real analysts shop. To hit the top tier of reliability under $300, you must look at the used market for first-generation Smith & Wesson M&Ps, or, my personal favorite, a third-generation Glock 17 or 19. Don't hesitate about buying used firearms. If you trust a 20-year-old Ford F-150 to haul lumber, you should trust a Glock that's been run hard and still functions perfectly. These duty-grade pistols have been used by military units, police departments, and honest citizens worldwide for decades. The Glocks, specifically, are legendary. We are talking about a platform that can chew through 10,000, sometimes 50,000 rounds without blinking, provided you maintain it. You are skipping the initial depreciation and grabbing a battle-proven asset. When you buy one of these, you are buying tested quality control, not some outsourced unit trying to hit a price point. The M&P offers a manual safety if that's your preference, while the Glock keeps it minimalist, snag-free, and fast. Full-size versions, the 17 or the M&P Full, are my preference because they control recoil better, they have better sight radii, and they usually come with 15 or even 17-round magazines. You often find these used packages including 3 magazines, meaning you are ready to deploy immediately. The aftermarket support here is simply unmatched in the entire firearms world. Holsters, night sights, optic cuts, barrels. If you can dream it, some machinist is making it for the Glock platform. And the magazines are dirt cheap and available everywhere, from big box stores to dusty rural gun shops. This used Glock 17 isn't just a budget gun. It's a strategic investment that offers combat-grade reliability for the cost of a brand new, low-end novelty pistol. This piece is the workhorse, the anchor. But we've spent our budget on reliability. For the final 2 slots, we are focusing on the absolute necessity of deep concealment, where size and weight are the primary tactical considerations, forcing us to examine the modern Micro-9s that have revolutionized the CCW game. The Micro-Revolution, the Sig Sauer P365. When the Sig Sauer P365 dropped, it wasn't just a new gun. It was a seismic shift in how we think about carrying concealed. It redefined what a micro-pistol could be. With an overall length hitting 5.8 inches, it barely scrapes into the micro category, but it brings features that used to be reserved for compact duty pistols. The game changer? Factory double-stack capacity in a magazine that doesn't bulge out like a tumor. The standard flush-fit magazine holds 10+1 rounds of 9mm. Why would you accept 6 or 7 rounds in a defensive scenario when you can have 10 standard without turning your carry gun into a brick? The ergonomics are stunning. Sig managed to keep the frame slim enough to disappear, yet the grip texture provides a firm, positive purchase that tames the 9mm recoil impulse surprisingly well. The trigger is a solid striker-fired design, defined take-up, clean break, and a quick reset that encourages accurate follow-up shots, something many budget micros fail at completely. It comes standard with steel sights, often tritium night sights, which is another huge score against the clockwork coming from other budget manufacturers. This pistol is modular. You can swap the serialized fire control unit between different slides and frames, the P365X, the P365XL, or stick with the original micro length for deep carry. This modularity means that if you buy the core component now, you can adapt the rest of the gun as your needs change or as your budget allows over time. It's a platform, not just a pistol. The P365 is reliable with quality ammunition, cycling defensive hollow points without issue, provided you run them broken in. It represents the absolute zenith of capability versus size in the modern era. If you are serious about carrying concealed every single day, the P365 is the standard by which all other micro 9mm are judged. It's the reason every other major manufacturer rushed to create their own version. It's an investment in ultimate preparedness without compromising daily comfort. Moving from this high-capacity modern wonder, we jump to the opposite end of the spectrum, a pistol so minimal it becomes functionally invisible, relying on sheer simplicity for its effectiveness. Invisible Defense, the Ruger LCP Max. If the P365 is the high-tech marvel, the Ruger LCP Max is the ultimate minimalist backup, designed for that scenario where you absolutely cannot have a print or an obstruction. Ruger took the lessons learned from the original LCP, which was great until you tried to shoot it, and engineered a defensive tool that truly works in 5.17 inches of total length. This pistol weighs barely over 10 ounces unloaded. You forget you are carrying it until the moment you need it. It's chambered in the tried-and-true 380 auto cartridge, which, despite what some critics say, is perfectly adequate for self-defense at contact distance. The Max fixed the original's biggest flaw, capacity. It comes standard with a flush-fit magazine holding 10+1 rounds. 10 rounds of .380 in a gun this small is a tactical ace in the hole. The ergonomics got a much-needed facelift, better grip texture, refined controls, and most importantly, decent sights that aren't just bumps of polymer. The recoil is still snappy, I won't lie to you. It's physics. Lightweight gun plus hot cartridge equals sharp impulse. But the improved grip allows you to manage that recoil well enough for quick, accurate defensive placements. It feeds hollow points reliably, which is the crucial test for any carry gun. This isn't a range gun. You don't want to shoot 500 rounds through it in one sitting. This is the gun that lives in your ankle holster, the spare gun in the glove box, or the tool that saves your life when your primary is inaccessible. It excels at its specific mission, being utterly unnoticeable until the fight begins. For deep concealment, the LCP Max delivers the best modern package of capacity and shootability in a truly pocketable size. It proves that sometimes the best defense is the one nobody sees coming. We've covered the budget duty guns, the feature-packed compacts, and the truly invisible backups. Every single one of these is a tool, not a toy, built for the harsh realities we face. There you have it, gentlemen. 7 firearms that prove you don't need to mortgage the farm to acquire reliable defense. Whether you're looking for a long-term home defense platform or that ultra-deep concealment backup that won't betray you when seconds count. We prioritized proven mechanics and parts availability over shiny marketing fluff. Buy it cheap and stack it deep, because this market ain't getting any easier. Now, let's hear it from the field. Between the high capacity of the Taurus G-Series and the proven endurance of the used Glock 17, which one gets the nod for your primary defensive handgun? Spell out your choice in the comments below. I read every single one. If this hard-nosed analysis helped you cut through the hype, smash that like button. And subscribe for more honest gear breakdowns where we treat our firearms like the serious tools they are. Stay sharp out there.